without giving. It felt like I was drowning, but I was unable to die. I couldn't help myself but to waken up when the machines went off. Seeing you, gasping for air, you couldn't say a word. For goodness sake, I couldn't save you. But today I hope to save lives. Because TB is real. TB is curable. Get tested before you get depressed just like me.
Give it up for Western Cape. Please welcome on stage the Eastern Cape. Please be silent and allow the Eastern Cape to deliver.
Special greetings to you all. My name is Busisi Wekwete from King Sabato Dalindyebo College. I'm presenting Eastern Cape, and I'll be presenting HIV and AIDS. You are the shame and the stain in our DNA and dignity. You leave the stain in our foreheads and the shame. You are the stain and the shame in our DNA and dignity. You leave the stains in our forehead for the whole world to see. We've been waiting for your destroyer from our scientists, but we have not found it. You are taking away our hearts and our trust from our scientists because you've been destroying us. You visit and take over. Because of you, I lost my mother. There I was standing in the mortuary with the obituary next to the lifeless body that was killed by you, that was soon to be taken to the cemetery. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Gauteng. After Gauteng, we will move to the gents for their unprepared. Gauteng. Please be silent. Please be silent. Let's give Gauteng a chance. Please be silent.
HIV and AIDS. I am Matapelo, representing Gauteng. This disease came to my doorstep. It knocked and no one answered. It knocked for the second time, and this time I had to answer. I never knew that this disease can come all dressed up in disguise, especially in a black suit and tie. As it smiled at me and threw a little charm, little did I know it will bring me harm. I fell in love with every piece of it. Every piece of it brought me serenity. But little did I know it will be the end of me. It slept with me. As it slept with me, I told it that I got this disease. And what it said to me, it told me my innocence was its cure. I was puzzled, sick, and you could see through my eyes that every word it said to me made me this dirty human being. It left me emotionally scarred and bruised. HIV and AIDS, a disease that takes and never brings back. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gauteng. Ladies and gentlemen, we move over to the gents. And before the gents, let's welcome on stage the Eastern Cape. All right, please be silent.
HIV and AIDS, you are the shame and the stain in our DNA and dignity. You signify impurity. You are the poison that is slowly destroying our nation and community. We still haven't found your cure, but we're still hoping to destroy you. You're breaking our hearts, and we're losing our trust from our scientists that cannot find your cure. You destroy our families, and you lead us into poverty. We cannot run away from you, because you destroy men, women, and children. Yes, others get you from negligence, but others do not get it by choice. They get it from their parents, so they don't get it by choice. We're still hoping to destroy you. Thank you.
Give it up for the Eastern Cape. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the gents, Free State.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Paul.
All right, just hold on for a second. Please be silent. Please be silent. Free State.
So, my name is John Paul. I come from Bethlehem, and I'm representing the Free State. The topic I was given is gender-based violence. So I would ask you guys to kindly borrow me a minute of your time so I can tell you about this girl, right? Her skin glows in perfect unison with the sun. Her smile is perfect but crooked. A living contradiction is what she is. But see, the way she carries herself is something nobody has ever seen. Her heart is full of love, perfectly innocent. That was until she was introduced to pain. See, I was told, if pain is all you know, then where it points is where you go. And she was the perfect example of this. See, she went on a blind date with pain and asked for a second date, and then asked for a third date, and ended up moving in with pain, not knowing what it would lead to. See, I don't blame them when they say all men are at fault. Because all it takes is one person to change what is going on. How many mothers have cried? How many bodies have laid in the grave? Women filled with ambition, dreams, goals, and drives. But it seems like we do not pay attention to this. See, we were promised change, but it seems like along the way, change lost its way, and we forgot about it. How many more times do we have to preach? See, we've lost women that could have been doctors, women that could have saved us from diseases that my fellow poets have talked about. But it seems like we are not hearing. I would like us to think about it this way. What if it was your mother shedding those tears? What if it was your sister? See, pain can be healed, but the scars it leaves are forever. And this is something I would like to leave you guys with today. Thank you.
Thank you, Free State. Gauteng.
Hi everybody. Okay, I'm Hlubi Matla from Pretoria, and I come from Tshwane South TVET College. Right about now I'm representing Gauteng. But before that, let me light my cigarette. Okay, so it all started, and I'm representing tuberculosis. It all started with a puff and pull. Generally, I didn't know that every time I left, I became the fool. It made me its slave to a point that I wasn't brave to get out, leading myself to the grave because I had too many doubts. The smoke which corroded my lungs, and it burned me because I never thought I could be the one to be done. Tuberculosis, it was saying alostro is a different process. Corrosion which was caused inside of my mind, making me to be blind because I couldn't see the signs behind that death is my own breath. Taking it, it would be a pace of my last breath. Tuberculosis which caused me to lose my family because every time I said I passed it on to everybody who was next to me. Tuberculosis which caused everybody as my friends to see them going up and down as they were high. Their mouth was so dry that we needed water to subside the suicide that was inside. Tuberculosis made me to lose all my friends, but I never thought that I was creating enemies because it depends on what I was doing to my body, because nobody cared about me to educate the way I will educate the day and educate the way I might die, because this felt so fly when you felt so high. Tuberculosis is what made me to feel like a different person. Because when I smoked, I became a bird and I flew in the air like the different urchin. If I die today, I'm leaving you with a lesson. Smoke less because you might take your last breath. That's the true lesson.
Give it up for Gauteng. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Limpopo.
As I am standing here by the name of Litsilani Tumelo representing the Limpopo, it was in 2019 whereby each and every person didn't know where to go. When you go out, they will be asking if you are an essential worker. It was painful walking around. At the back, you hear boots of law enforcement. When you try to respond, they will say, we stop and donor. COVID-19, mask, regulation, new words were introduced, quarantine, isolation. From us, people with art, we were left with hunger because there were no way we can make money, because when we try to make money, they say only 50 people are allowed. When we try to check, when they say, why are you given the topic of COVID-19? Because on stage I'm just like a taboo, because now where COVID-19 will introduce a corruption. While others were suffering, wearing masks, believing that one day it's going to be okay, someone was carrying a bag of money in the name of COVID-19. It was painful. We tried by all means, but when you get to a doctor, they will say, sometimes you feel cold, sometimes you feel hot. It's like flu. A security became doctors, a doctors became security, but of our lives. Sanitizer, police after us, security refusing us to enter. When we go back on the life of levels, when we are on level 5, that's where you will feel like you are in load shedding. It was a nightmare. It was painful. But let me say, in the name of mighty God, we believe and we say amen in terms of COVID-19. Thank you.
Limpopo!
Yes, yes. Woo! Only this time.
All right. Please welcome on stage Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
Please be silent and give Mpumalanga a chance.
Yeah. Thank you very much. My name is Tebogo Pokungwana from Mpumalanga and Nkangala region. The topic is COVID-19. It goes like, we are in the fear of unknown. The fear of unknown that came with the sheep. Come with the sheep and take our people back to the sheep. That's the fear of unknown. The fear of unknown that we told with 3 letters and 2 numbers. The fear of unknown that takes our loved ones. One man stand and take a podium, tell us that everything will be fine. That fear of unknown that makes our parents not having hope to buy a ticket of Stimela Kuchu Kuchu back to their own township. A fear of unknown that has resulted us with death, everything will be fine. We were told that pharmaceutical center is the one that will bring hope to us. But the fear of unknown has taken everything but only remain with the land to bury our loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you. Please welcome on stage Northwest.
Molweni. Lina ke Mxolisi Matundu, representing Northwest, and I'm going to be doing GBV. What men are we when we claim to be, but to love really we find it silly? It's a question. What men are we when we claim to be, but to love really we find it silly? A man in a woman's shoe, he wouldn't dare walk a mile. But a woman in a man's shoe, she walks 100, 1,000 and more until her feet get sore. You know why? Because women have mastered the skill to endure. What are women for? For when they love more and more, not by law, men find it so. Cowards close their doors, telling them to go knock next door. What for? When her love is raw, her care hardcore. Is it too much to just answer her call? Because all she will ever ask you is to catch her when she falls. So what men are we when we claim to be, but to love really we find it silly? Even though she may not be too quick to admit when she's wrong, please don't let her drop the ball, because her protection in your arms it belongs. In your songs of songs, her rose with thorns finds a good cause. It finds a good reason to live for. But what men are we when we claim to be, but to love really we find it silly? But now her belly is hanging low, her sexiness fading slow, coming down her eyes are real tears, no pretending, though the question of who's the father is still pending. So between him, and him as well, it's a question of who's Maxwell. A young thug who chose to make the real world a living hell just because his world had a different smell, and so he chose to impregnate the poor young girl, the soon-to-be mother to the not-yet-born Princess Michelle. But now she's stuck, you see, not in a prison cell, but with a young thug called Maxwell. Maxwell was not born a thug, he was just not raised well. A generational curse denied him a drink from a wealth of wisdom, a pit, a well so well. And so in little knowledge he fell, and with him came along the poor young girl, the soon-to-be mother to the not-yet-born Princess Michelle. Now, as to what the future holds for the not-yet-born Princess Michelle, the odds have been told not to let her grow old because she might have a good story to tell. But luckily, she's not stuck in a prison cell, nor is she stuck with a young thug called Maxwell. She's being embraced by her mother's womb, and once into this world she's born, this little girl is going to excel. What men are we when we claim to be, but to love really, we find it silly? Ndiyabulele.
Thank you so much, Northwest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Western Cape.
Hoy olingoma yokukula ndiminqondi ndimimbongi eqiqileyo yaqonda into yokokubana mayizikhwebule kumdudo wononkala wophila ukubomi ngexhala lokubana yazibela ngomsilanga ndakulibona kwisinina nkqonkqo Good day, everyone. I am Ingan Dabeni, representing Western Cape under the topic corruption. As I closed my eyes, I began to see a very beautiful tree. Its stem dark in color, reminding me of the black South Africans. As I walked closer, the people around it started to praise it and say, Afrika no zala wama Afrika. Afrika no zala wam zonzundu. Afrika no zala wam lisana nom tinjana we Afrika. South Africa, the world. South Africa, the country of wealth. Ay, man. South Africa, the country of wealth. Have you forgotten about rising? Benfuna nhleke. Uzuma ewe kanti shaleta ikai. So now we must act as if everything is normal. Now kodwa simanyukunyezi sinyikinyiki zinyembezi kulomnyadala sinyamezele kumnyama ntshone nyekeza hayi man. Oh Madiba, oh Mandela, waquma lamachalaka ngokuhlahla waquma endaweni yokubatshala ngesigadlo wabuyisela lwandle yewancaca. Ndikhumbula usithi amandla. Education is the key to success. No. Education was the key to success because ngoku we have corruption and the only key to success is connections. Yay!
Western Cape. Please welcome on stage the Eastern Cape.
Molweni. Igama lam ndinguThozamile Libalele Mqoboli. I'm representing King Sabata Dalindyebo. The Eastern Capes, yeah, Eastern Cape, yes. Finally, tables are starting to turn. If we don't involve the wrong people, we're gonna evolve. Maladministration, fraud has found its DNA that you cannot deny when you look NYDA, that's supposed to help young people, the National Youth Development Agency. Corruption smells black. Step aside if I'm stepping on your toes with this. Corruption smells black. I am sorry, rich man, if I'm awakening your woos. Corruption smells black. We are the majority to a minority of self-enrichment, of people who have forgotten what hunger feels like. From Soweto to Alex, from Kanduli to Mount Fred, the anger is embroiling. The masses are tired, and the guns are fired when they strike for corruption. Corruption smells black. You can witness this by people who are looking for quick wealth, resulting into crippling Department of Health that cannot afford its people a dignified service. Corruption smells black. Those who are at the helms of government, the majority of them, it is black people. But they still cannot help to elevate and put umtomnyama pezulu. Corruption smells black. I did say that corruption has found its NTA, that you cannot deny when you look at its child, NYDA, the National Youth Development Agency. Corruption smells black.
All right, thank you so much, Eastern Cape. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we're going to move. Maybe give a round of applause to everyone who was on stage, please. Thank you. And this is how we're going to move. We're going to break for lunch so that we can all eat. You are expected to be here at 2:30. So it's a 45-minute break. Please, at 2:30, be back here so that we can start with drama. We'll start with drama immediately when we get back at 2:30. So go enjoy your lunch. Officials, you know where you're going. BCC, right? The guests, BCC.